Hiya. What are the odds?
Oh my God.
We both went for the same. That was not planned.
I was so lost.
I was going to do it regardless.
I was too. I wrote mine down, though.
I didn't.
All right. Welcome back to the Last in Class podcast. As always, I'm Mike.
Sikora.
And Tyler.
Sorry, I was drinking.
No excuses. No excuses. And today we're going to do a fun one. We've done 3 horror movies in a row. So let's take a
little step back.
Movie me and Sikora grew up on. Tyler, first time.
Yep.
And we were doing heavyweights. That's the wrong movie.
I know, but it applies.
Not really.
No.
Not so much.
It works.
All right, Heavyweights from 1995. It's rated PG. It's 1 hour, 37-minute runtime. Rotten Tomato score of only 29% somehow.
That's kind of low.
It's
not on the Perkins system.
It's probably new ratings that have drug it down. Another reason why you just can't listen to Rotten Tomatoes. A budget of $10 million and a box office of $17.6 million. So not horrible for the time, but not great either. All right, so this movie is directed by Stephen Brill. He did Hoobie Halloween, Movie 43, Without a Paddle. I like that one. And Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, that's a good one. And Adam Sandler still made some good movies.
Is that Deeds' first name?
Oh my God.
It's written also by Stephen Brill and Judd Apatow.
Yes, Judd Apatow.
There you go. This was before he directed stuff.
Yeah, before he made all those hits.
Some hits, some bad.
Well, yeah.
All right. Tony Perkins, played by Ben Stiller. Who doesn't know Ben Stiller? Night at the Museum, Tropic Thunder. You can go on and on and on.
On and on and on.
Heartbreak Kid.
Haven't seen that one?
Oh.
Sorry.
He's in the Rollin' music video for Limp Bizkit too.
Is he?
Yeah.
Haven't
It's
seen
kind
that
of
one.
funny because I've been listening to that song and the music video over and over again, and I happened to just look one time. I'm like, that's Ben Stiller.
What is he doing in it?
He comes out with his car and he's like talking to the lead singer, and he's like, watch it for me. And then that's when he's like taking it everywhere and stuff.
Oh, okay. So it's like it's just a small.
Rolling. What?
That's right. So then we got his real life parents, Jerry Stiller and Ann Mara, playing Harvey Bushkin and Alice Bushkin. They're like the owners of the camp. Then you have Maury Gardner, the main character's dad, is played by Jeffrey Tambor. He's in Transparent, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Meet Joe Black, Hellboy, Hangover.
Arrested Development.
Yeah. Sikora kind of hit me a little bit because I didn't write that one
Come
down
on
the list. I didn't watch the show. I only have so much on my line, and then after I fill the line, I just go to the next person. I don't need to list their whole filmography, sir.
Well, you could have taken off Grinch Stole Christmas.
Heck no. I'm not taking that one off. That's my wife's favorite Christmas movie. We're not taking that one off.
You could have taken off Hellboy.
Heck no. That's one of my favorite. All right. Then you got the character Tim. He's one of the counselors, played by Paul Feig. And the only thing I need to mention, he directed 2016 Ghostbusters. End of story.
Also involved in The Office.
Nope. We're not talking anything more. He directed that movie. We're moving on to the next thing.
Also involved in The Office.
Nope. We're erasing this right now from this podcast. He directed the 2016 Ghostbuster movie. That's all you need to know about him.
Wait, he was in The Office?
No.
Tyler, we are not talking about this.
Keep it in, Tyler. Keep it in.
Then you have a character Roy. He's played by Kenan Thompson, who does not like Kenan Thompson. Come on.
I do. Ooh.
That's Kel.
I know.
He's just saying.
Referencing it.
So we grew up watching him on all that, and then when he got older, he was on the real SNL and Good Burger, Kenan and Kel, and soon to be, from what I hear, Good Burger 2.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm excited to see it.
They're talking about making a sequel, baby.
I love Good Burger.
Julie, the other counselor, played by Leah Lale. She was in Little Nicky and the show VIP.
Flask.
What?
Get in the flask.
The face you're making while doing that.
Well, that's because Little Nicky has his face sideways because he got hit in the face with a shovel.
Sorry, I've only seen scenes and I don't want to finish that one.
Now you do.
Now you have one of my favorite characters in this movie, Lars, played by Tom Hodges. He was in Revenge of the Nerds 2 and Critters 2, I believe, and a few other things, but nothing really stuck out. Character Josh is played by Sean Weiss, and he was in the Mighty Duck trilogy. Goldberg the goalie.
He was also in an episode of King of Queens.
I'm not gonna list like one episode of like one show.
Well, he was. I mean,
No matter what,
Yeah.
Score's gonna chip in on
Yeah.
where he's seen these people.
Jerry Stiller played Arthur Spooner in King of Queens, so
Yeah, but for Jerry, I could
didn't
go
even
on.
mention it.
Everybody just knows who he is.
It's Frank Costanza.
I could go on a long list of Jerry, but we're not gonna do that.
You gave him no list.
Next episode, you're making the list. You're gonna print this paper out. How about that?
I don't have a printer, so
I don't care. Figure it out. Then you're gonna handwrite everybody's list.
I won't. Okay, I'll do it. You're gonna hate it.
All right, then we go to our main character, who's this far down the list, Gerald, played by Aaron Schwartz. He was also in the first Mighty Duck movie, the Gossip Girl show, and nothing really other major.
He was Carp in Mighty Ducks.
Yes, sir. Only the first movie. Main counselor Pat Finley, played by Tom McGowan. He was in Sleepless in Seattle, Frasier, Birdcage, lots of TV, like lots of 1 or 2 episodes here and there.
So you do mention if they've been in 1 or 2 episodes.
I didn't list the shows, all right? See, he was in Frasier, but it was like 50 episodes. That's worth writing. That's right. Ugh. That is worth writing down, sir.
I guess.
And then Kenny is played by Alan Covert, or however you pronounce it.
I would say Covert.
All right, he's in Grandma's Boys, and then basically any Adam Sandler movie. Like ever.
But it's Grandma's Boy.
Sorry. Jesus Christ.
Oh, that's great.
Wow. All right, Sikora, since I'm just doing so badly this episode for you, why don't you go ahead and...
This is it. The sheet's done.
Yeah, the sheet's done. That was my work.
All
Why don't you
right.
start off on this movie? What do you want to talk about first?
What I want to talk about, how great this movie is.
It is great.
Yeah. Well, we should hear Tyler's perspective first, since this is the first time he's seen it.
First time for Tyler viewing. Tyler, what do you think about this movie?
It's really entertaining. I found some other quotes. Quotes are really good in this. There's definitely some funny scenes, especially with the kids at the camp, that make this movie. It's definitely entertaining.
So many quotes in this movie. Stuff that I say probably on a weekly basis, and I don't even realize it.
Literally, me and you were just talking about it, and you were listing like 10, 15 quotes, and I was like, Mike, do you like this movie? I can't really tell. And you're like, oh, I love this movie.
Oh, yeah. First thing I want to say about this movie is you could not make this movie today.
Oh.
Or if you did, it would be like a rated R movie or like a Netflix thing for like older audiences.
Yeah.
We've become so, sensitized to these things. But it's very positive if you watch it. Like, yes, there's like negativity at the beginning, but the whole thing is all these characters are learning to live, and eventually at the end are learning to, do better stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. All poor Jerry wanted to do was hang out during the summer. His
That's
parents
right.
Sent him to fat camp.
That's right.
But it looked like it was going to be a pretty sweet fat camp.
Yeah, they
We
got the
did.
blob in the lake and the
Go-karts.
go-karts. That was the first thing that he was like, oh, the go-karts.
Right.
How many times can you go on the go-karts? As many times as you want, Jerry. Be careful, they're addicting.
Yep. Good sales.
Yeah, so the movie starts off with him like leaving high school. It's the last day of high school.
Even though he's in
middle
11.
Middle school. Yeah,
It says high school on the...
Does it say high school?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really?
And then, yeah.
I didn't catch
and he's
that.
announced as 11
How
years
do you
old.
say that? Yeah, they do say he's 11. I'd never caught this.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be in high school.
No.
But all the kids in the school are
Yeah.
like older.
Yeah, and there's 2 kids making out.
First off, like
Yeah.
the bells ring and everyone
get a room.
Yeah.
everyone runs in the hallway and just like throws all this paper and shit.
Right.
Have you ever been in a situation at school where that happened on the last day?
Yes.
Of course, Sikora has.
I carried around a boombox for the last day of senior year of high school.
you did?
And played Schools Out for the Summer on loop.
Of course you did.
And I took a bunch of shit. Hypothetically.
Not getting caught right now, huh?
Statute of limitations. It's been years.
Yeah, I'd never experienced that, so I just always. And then my other issue right off the bat of this is he's immediately walking out of the school, and there's still like hundreds of kids just walking around. The buses are already leaving.
Hell yeah, the buses are pulling out.
Yeah, and they just leave him. Like he literally has just walked out of the building, and the buses are gone.
They really downplayed how much of a nerd he was in like the opening scene with him and that other kid.
Yeah.
And then like everyone's just like celebrating, and he's just like, "Oh, come on, guys, don't do that."
I don't remember him sounding like that.
Well, I can't do all the impressions.
Well, you have to, because I'm terrible at impressions.
Score is pretty good.
Yeah, Sikora's our impression man. So he walks home, passes a baseball game, can't throw the baseball over the fence.
Oh my god.
I like the part with the dog. He's walking down the street, and this lady's walking the dog, and the dog's like, roar, and he's like, his body language, he just like freezes and freaks out, and the dog's like really going nuts.
It doesn't even sound like that would be the dog to make that noise.
No, it's like a fluffy dog.
There's a lot of dubbed over things in this movie.
Oh yeah, because this is a Disney movie,
right?
Technically, so they had to go back and change some stuff. But then he barks at the dog and runs away, and he goes. Here's the other little thing. He stops at a lemonade stand, and it says 10 cents a cup. He lays down like $4, and they like freak out because he just grabs the pitcher instead of the cup and drinks it all. That'd be 40 cups. He's paid for that whole pitcher.
Right, easily.
Yeah, but he's also wasting it because it just goes all down his shirt.
Yeah.
It's the little things. And then he gets home.
Yeah. But it's not like he was doing anything that exhilarating. He was just walking home.
Right.
And he's not that big of a kid.
Hey, it's also $4 for an 11-year-old in like 1995. That's like an action figure, sir.
Yeah.
Or for a nerd like me, action figure. And then he gets home, and his parents have a stranger in the house. Guess
Someone
what?
die? Why is everyone home?
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's here for you. Yeah, why? Oh, you're going to fat camp.
Yep.
They show him a video, and then he's like, I'm not going. And he tells his dad, why don't you go? You're fatter than I am.
Yeah.
Like, I would never talk to my parents that way. I can't imagine.
Right. Well, his mom doesn't like it.
Right. Well,
Watch your mouth.
Then bam, he's on a plane.
Yeah. I'm not going.
And then we get to one of my other, I think me and Tyler were talking about this at work. One of my other favorite moments. He's just sitting there, and this like big fat guy's like leaning on him sleeping. And Kenan Thompson just like pulls up he's Roy. And he's like, you headed to fat camp? He's like, no, why do you say that? Because you're fat. Is that your dad? No. Why do you say that? Because he's fat too. So are you. Yeah. That's why I'm going to fat camp. And then like, hi, I'm Roy. Yeah, I guess I'm going. I knew it. And that's your dad too. Hell no.
Yup.
Kenan Thompson's great.
Oh, yeah. He should have had a bigger role in this movie.
He had a good role.
He should have been in more.
I mean, they actually did a good job of like making sure
Balancing
the kids. Like even like there's a character Salami Sam. He's in a few stuff at the beginning, but then there's other characters they sprinkle them through. They just don't focus on like 3.
Garner, Gerald, age 11, 143 pounds.
143, huh?
I think.
How much would you put money on that?
Who's this for?
Gerald Garner.
I know it's 140 something.
I know. I think it's like 141, but it could be wrong.
Something like that. I remember it being like 140 or something. Or just 140.
I know he has a 17-pound weight loss goal.
Yeah, that's quite a bit for a kid that age for one summer.
Yeah.
So he, the stewardess puts like wings on him, so then the kids see it later. They call him Captain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whatever. They have to go plane. Then we meet Pat, the main counselor. He brings the bus. This counselor's awesome. If I ever went to camp, did any of you go to camp?
No.
Yeah, obviously, because who does? I didn't know anyone who went to camp except for like the weekend camp at like middle school.
Yeah. I didn't even go to that.
I did. It wasn't great. Either way, but if I did, that counselor would be sweet. He's just like, "Are you ready to have the best summer of your life?" And they're all goofing. He's driving them, and they're driving past all these fast food.
Yeah, like every fast food place.
Yeah, McDonald's, Taco Bell, all that, and all the kids are like, turn. And it's like, we're not turning. It's like, oh right, and he like pretends to turn, and then like straightens up, like, oh.
And then they get to Camp Hope.
Yeah, but before that, there's also a quote I really like from Pat on it. Is Sam was putting his head out the window.
Oh yeah.
And he's just like, Sam, get your head in the window. We lost 2 kids last summer like that. I'm not going back to get your head.
Yup. Then one of my favorite parts comes up is when they pull into Camp Hope and everyone's cheering, and then Jerry looks out the window and he sees what? Sims?
Yeah, Sims.
He's just like standing by the entrance, just like, and it goes in slow mo, and he's just shaking his head.
But I also don't understand that because at this point, it's still the happy Camp Hope.
Right, they don't know it yet. Yeah.
So I don't know why he's like, no.
Right.
But it's like a horror movie warning, almost like, don't enter Camp Hell.
Yep.
So they unload all their stuff, and he gets put in the camp.
The chipmunk bunk.
Chipmunk bunk, which is like with the cool kids. And this is when we get introduced to Josh, who was played by Goldberg, the goalie.
Goalie.
Oh, before this, we also get introduced to Tim and the nurse.
Yeah.
The nurse, the good-looking nurse.
Julie.
This is Nurse Julie. This is her first year. And she goes to ask Pat where, like, the place is to go. Infirmary. And he's like, and he doesn't know, but he's been there for 18 years. So Roy's just like, what happened there? I panicked. So obviously there's going to be a little relationship love there.
Everyone likes Nurse Julie.
Yeah.
Even Roy tells Goldberg.
Yeah, he told Josh, she's very attractive.
This pleases me.
Yeah, he's like the godfather of the chipmunk bunk.
Yeah.
And we also get introduced to Counselor Tim, who is skinny now, and all the kids are making fun of him. And we hear that he used to be big like them and lost all the weight. And he's like, look at these buns of steel. It's just fun. I love Tim.
Like a crop top.
Even though he made bad movies later in his life, 2016 Ghostbusters. In this movie, him and Lars are my favorite characters.
Lars is good.
Well, also Ben Stiller too. Tony Perkins. Ben Stiller's best role. Writing it down.
Well, and then he also makes that joke with him saying, "What did you lose a baby?" Or I don't know what the.
Have a baby.
Yeah, did you have a baby?
Allow me saying, then they give like the high fives, like, yeah, got him.
I hope you don't tell anybody, but I snuck in some Oreos.
Oh yeah. After Counselor Pat leaves, that's what Gerald says to Josh, and then we get one of Josh's quotes, like, "That was very sneaky of you." Chipmunks, download, and then all the kids go crazy, and they're like, got all this candy hidden in their like luggage and on their bodies. So Sam is like on the top bunk. He's like, "Hey, new kid, come help me with these salamis on my back. They're really hurting me."
Oh, look, a deli meat.
Yeah, that's a good one later. And then, but if for any of you who watched our Bill and Ted's episode,
this is Mike's favorite.
and we talked about how I get disgusted at the ice cream scene.
Oh yeah.
There's a scene.
Grab a taste of England, guys.
Yeah, what's his character name? Philip. Yeah. Philip is like this little British boy, and he lifts up his shirt, and he's got all this melted chocolate on him. He's like, "I knew it was too hot on that bus." And they're like, and this one kid comes over, takes his hand, scrapes the chocolate off his belly, and then licks his hand. Oh my God, I get disgusted just thinking about it.
Right when he scooped it up, I was like, "Oh, don't tell me he eats that." And he just puts it all in his mouth. I'm like, "Oh, no."
And the rest of the troop comes in. Grab a taste of England, guys.
Yeah, so they have like all sorts of hidden spots, like in their bunk, under this like trunk thing. It's like their main. That's where the salami goes. And then after that, we get just shots of the blob, which is like this big thing in the lake.
Everybody should know what this is, though.
Yeah, everyone's seen this movie.
It's like that big air cushion thing, and then one person sits on one, and another person jumps on the other, and then they go flying in the air.
Yep, you won't ever see me doing that.
I would so do it.
I'd do it.
Great. I hate heights and I hate water.
Heights, you're only like 10 feet.
10, 15 feet, and then you fall into the water.
You can jump onto
the
thing.
Tell people
I'll go flying.
All the time. Water murders people every day. Every day.
Yeah.
I feel like I may have even said it on this podcast.
You probably definitely did.
Water is terrible.
Your body's mostly water.
I hate my body.
That's the one thing that can save you and kill you.
Yeah.
I hate my body right now. There we go. I need to go to fat camp.
You gotta go on the blob.
No, I don't. I'm
to.
Gerald Garner. I'll go on the go-karts. Or I'll be the only kid there who's actually trying to lose weight. And then we go to the main counselor meeting, and this is when the Bushkins come in. Hi, hiya, like we said at the beginning. That's like the intro. And they talk about how they had to sell Camp Hope. Like, they no longer own it.
Never let anyone sign your checks.
Anything Jerry ever is in just makes me laugh. He basically plays the same character.
Yeah.
I
In
love
everything.
him.
Yeah.
He's awesome in Seinfeld. I love him in Seinfeld.
Hell yeah.
I haven't got to that yet. Seinfeld.
What's that?
I haven't got that far in Seinfeld. I haven't watched it in a while yet.
I love it.
It's going pretty strong last summer. Then I stopped.
Oh.
Got to get back to it.
Too many things. Too many things.
But you got to love Jerry.
Right.
Hey.
So then we get introduced to Tony Perkins, the new owner. Like, the lights go out. There's like all these like lights and stuff like that, and
Sirens.
sirens,
Yeah.
and like all these guys in like these nice shirts and stuff like that.
They all
And-
like start running onto the state or into the auditorium area.
and Ben Stiller just goes crazy in this character. He's like just on stage, and he's like, first off, we get some stuff where he's like, I see a future rap artist, and he points to Kenan Thompson, and then like, I see a president of the United States. He's like, he's from England. It's just like freaking out, like, we're gonna do this together, the Tony Perkins system. And he's like all crazy. We're gonna drink skim milk, and Philip's like, ugh.
No, he eats success for breakfast.
Oh yeah, he eats success
With
for
skim milk.
With skim milk.
I think after that is when we get introduced to Lars, right?
Yeah, he starts introducing the new counselors.
Yeah, Lars is the one actually who's doing the voiceover when,
And now,
Tony Perkins
welcome,
comes in.
Tony Perkins.
and then we get Lars. He's gonna be the new counselor for the Chipmunk Bunk, and Pat has to go like the main house. And Lars has like a German accent, something like that,
Yeah, I would
like
assume
European.
So. With Lars.
Yeah, something European.
He's from far away.
Yeah, so he goes in the Chipmunk Bunk. It's like, let's play the fun game that helps us learn each other's names. We already know each other's names.
Each other's names.
That was the first laugh out loud moment when I was watching it.
That's good. It's just
I am Lars.
Lars. That's a weird name. Where are you from?
And then he walks closer, and Keenan like gets scared. Far away. Like, that's intimidating.
He's like intimidating, but he's not intimidating at the same
Yeah.
time. Like at the beginning, he's intimidating, and then the rest of the movie, he does nothing intimidating whatsoever.
Nurse Julie.
Yes, Julie. Then we come in the next morning, and there's like they're sleeping in their bunks, and this very peaceful music's playing. And then Roy wakes up. He's like, "Oh no, I'm dead. I'm in heaven." They're just like, "What's going on?" And then you got Tony Perkins talking, and we get one of my quotes of the movie.
Dun dun dun. Bum, 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 bum.
It's a mean quote too, but we're gonna do it. Where he's like, "Today is evaluation day. The key word is value. Do you have any? Not yet." It's so mean, but come on. I mean, you gotta watch this movie for what it is. It's a movie you can't make anymore. You're not allowed to make fun of fat kids or anything like that. You're not even allowed to say the word fat, I don't think. But
Yeah, you can't really say that.
But
So you just got in trouble.
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, this
It's got canceled, bruh.
canceled from what? This is a movie that, hey, it paid all these people.
It launched careers.
A lot of careers, actually. There's a lot of heavy hitters in this movie, actually.
Yeah.
And 4 future directors.
Yeah, your favorite director,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Paul Feig. I heard him and Ryan Johnson are making a collaboration movie together.
Great. I will never watch it. No Ryan Johnson movies for me.
What if they made Star Wars versus Star Trek?
Why would I want to watch that?
I don't know. Versus the Terminator versus RoboCop versus Indiana Jones
That just sounds like a
versus
failure.
Jurassic Park.
Wow.
Versus Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
How would you even loop all those together? You're making like a Warner Brothers movie, like where they have to put
Versus
everything.
Marvel versus DC.
Nah, you lost me.
Capcom versus Marvel. You'd watch it.
So one of the first things we get after the wake up scene is them doing the gliding thing back and forth. They're like working out. They're like, glide.
Slide.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
slide, glide. And then you get Lars in the background who's gliding behind Tony. He's like, I'm feeling skinny, Tony.
Yeah, and then Tony does. I liked this part where Tony told Kenny to only shoot the kids that were standing, and in that shot, all of the kids are on the ground.
Because it keeps because if you look, the counselors are on like a wood plaque or whatever.
Yeah.
All the kids are on a hill. Technically, it's curved. It's not flat.
Yeah.
So they're designed for failure. I mean, they wouldn't be doing good anyways. But
Yeah.
and then after that, we go in the Wayne section, and this was it Wayne, and then I think we do the pictures after that.
Yeah.
The Wayne.
Broke my camera.
Yeah. And we'll get to that in 1 second. The Wayne section where I think Sims, he steps on and Lars is like, "Congratulations, Mrs. Sims. You're the fattest boy in camp."
Yeah.
Everybody starts cheering and everything.
Josh is like, "Yeah, let's hear it for him." He's like, "Get down." And then they're also getting measurements, and Sims is also bleeding. We never get an explanation for that.
He's like crying too.
Yeah, I feel like there's like a
They
deleted
measure
scene
his
in
head
there.
on a diagonal. It's weird.
And then after that, we get to, yes, the pictures. They're all in their like white suits and stuff like that.
Before and after. They're taking their before photos.
Yeah, and Lars is taking the pictures. He's like, next. And then like, please put your fat finger down, because one of them's like picking his nose. Or whatever. Is it Keenan?
Yeah.
Yeah, Roy's up there. And then he like bends over like to take a picture. He's like, "You've broken my camera," which is my second favorite quote of the movie. You cannot hear that and not just like smile.
Right.
I've quoted that so many times in my life. I'm ashamed to say.
And then what? Then they have to go play team MVP, right? In baseball.
First we got the swimming scene, which is another scene I like.
Buddy!
We'll let you cool here in a second. All the kids are swimming except for a few. Josh, of course, is just sitting there with his sunglasses on. Lars sees Nurse Julie.
Pushes all the kids into the lake.
He's screaming, "What?"
Nurse Julie!
Yeah, pushes the kids in the lake or whatever. And then they're talking. He's trying to get deep tissue massage.
I pulled my
And she's like, "Shouldn't you be watching the kids?" And he's like, "I have them on the buddy system." And
they're like, "Buddy!
What's
So-
the body system?
So they're like holding hands and screaming "buddy" every time he says it. But you have Josh who's just sitting there by himself, and then every time he's lifting his hand.
Yeah.
I die every time.
Yeah, that's a good scene. Especially like when I think it's Sims is sitting next to him, or Cody, and like he pushes the two kids in, and then like one of the kids that's sitting next to Josh looks up at Lars and just jumps in the water in front of him.
Yeah, then we have the baseball game after that. So there's another camp, a rival camp that's like across the lake.
MVP.
And this is where like all the athletics, like all the jocks and stuff go, and they do a baseball game every year. And of course, Camp MVP beats them or whatever. So it starts, and it doesn't look like any of these kids. First off, they're like getting off the bench, and they're all just like slowly going while Tim's like, come on, let's go. And Sims is like barely walking. He said something about Sims waist walking. Sims is like the tallest one, so he's just, and he doesn't talk. He says like one line in the movie. So they're all getting beat up, like, and I think it was Cody or Philip, or not Philip, the redhead one. He's just like, "Can I go to the nurse?" Tim's like, "Just wait till someone comes back." Because they're just like getting brutalized. The score's going crazy. And then the nurse is like, "What's going on out there?" "We're percusizing." And then you have like the catcher on the Camp MVP team's like, "Don't blubber chubber," after Jerry got like hit by a pitch or whatever. And then like Roy's got the
Aren't
badge.
they playing like underhand softball too?
Probably.
Yeah, something like that.
And then Roy just kind of like takes the bat and like hits him in the stomach really fast. And then Tim sees it and is like kind of like cheering him on. I love Tim. Tim is like a character who's just like a kid at heart
So
still.
you love him.
I do.
Love-hate relationship.
I love the character Tim. This was before he made mistakes in the 2000s.
A lot of people made mistakes in the 2000s.
Yeah. You?
Of course. I make mistakes every day of my life.
Don't we all?
My whole life is a mistake.
Hey, we're not getting deep on this podcast, sir.
Listen, my dad couldn't afford cable. And
my
inflation.
You know, a couple weeks ago, we had Brandon on here talking about groceries at Circle K.
They know. Just tune into Bill and Ted. You'll know.
Listen to Bill and Ted. You'll hear Brandon go on about how his dad had.
I'm just trying to fill in the gap.
But then we were also talking about it in American Beauty when we were talking about the commercials. For some reason, I don't remember why we were talking about commercials. But then he was like, "Yeah, well, I didn't have cable, so I didn't see any of those," or something like that.
Oh, the L'Oreal. It was Groundhog's Day.
Oh, that's what it was.
Because what's her name? Andy McDowell.
Yeah.
So then we get next scene. We got Tony searching the bunks for candy, and he's got like a laser, and he's like hitting stuff, and he's like getting everything. And then one of his like counselors, new counselors, like, I was a chipmunk last year, and he just like sells out all the guys.
I was like,
and,
there's no way he did
uncovers.
that. Why would you do
and
that?
This is when we get another really funny moment from Tony. He's like going, look at this Trevor show. Oh, look.
A deli meat.
There we go. It's so random, and I love that they acknowledge the fact.
I just like how he bends it and then it just flies.
Yeah, like perfectly.
Yeah.
And then Tony tries to pressure Jerry into like giving up whose candy and all the treats are and stuff like that. And Jerry doesn't want to do it. And he's like, come on, I'm your friend, whatever. And he's like, he's about to like tell, and then Josh steps in, and we get the, his famous line. He's like, I'll tell you who it is. It was Seymour Butts.
That line was dubbed.
Yeah, it was dubbed because it was originally something else. But
You know what it was?
We'll do it in 1 second.
Peter Fitz.
Peter Fitz, yep.
Yeah, you can say it now.
Go ahead, yeah.
Want me to say it?
I was going to go through the other thing first and then get that.
I have it
Well,
right.
that it leads into one of my second favorite shots of the movie after that quote.
After
After the Seymour Butts quote. It just when go ahead and say the quote, and then
they originally said Peter Fitz, and then he goes, who's Peter Fitz? And then Josh answers, anyone's Peter Fitz if you push hard enough.
Disney in the 90s was awesome.
Yeah, Disney was like, we can't do that. This is a family-friendly movie.
Right.
So they dubbed over it.
Yeah.
I did not know about this dub until doing this.
Oh, really?
Today, yeah.
You can totally see their lips not matching the words.
I didn't pay attention to it, though.
Oh. And you can totally
Should've
tell
paid
the
attention.
the audio gets a little bit louder too.
Oh, really?
But no, that leads to my one of my second favorite shots of the movie, where Josh gets kicked out of camp and the camera just the editing just frames it on his face, and he just disappears.
Yeah, it's like frozen.
Yeah, it's
on
just
him,
remember
and then it's
the
got
good
this
times.
music. Yeah. And the next day, it's
he
his,
died.
Yeah, his bunkers rolled over.
Maybe he did die.
Well, then it goes into the rumors,
Right.
and that one lunch guy is like, "Sorry to hear about your friend Josh. Yeah, he's dead." And then Jerry's hearing all this, Sam is telling him a story. Yeah, he's living in his parents were mad, kicking him out. He's living in
living
park
at the park
with a guy with no legs.
Yeah.
it's like how these stories who started this stuff.
It's just kids being kids, man. It's good
Rumors.
shit.
So then we go to a montage, gross food, them popping the blob, which makes no sense. Technically, if you're swimming and doing that stuff, that's athletics.
Yeah, you're jumping, you're getting launched,
you're swimming, you're burning calories doing that.
Right.
And on the other fact is Tony, you find out later, is kind of doesn't have that much cash. You could sell that.
Right.
There's no reason to pop it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the go-karts, they've been disabled once again. Why?
Right.
Just
can
put them in storage or
right,
sell them or something.
Yeah.
Lunch. Then we got Tony. Lunch has been canceled due to lack of hustle.
Deal with it.
He's so good at this role. I love it. And then after that, I think we got the dance.
Yeah, I think so.
Tony is.
I'm just a love machine.
He's prepared to dance with a girls' camp, and it's just boys on one side, girls on the other side. And Tim, he's just freaking. He's like, this really bites. And then the other counselors are talking, and then he comes behind and he's like, this really bites. He says it again, and then a song pops on,
I'm just a love
and
machine.
he's like,
it's kind of more of an upbeat song because
Yeah,
it was kind of slower ones, and then this one came upbeat, and he's starting to
Yeah.
feel it or whatever.
he just goes to the dance floor, starts dancing crazy. He's like, I'm saving the dance, because Pat's like, what are you doing? And he's like, just come on, and everyone just starts dancing.
Salami Sam gets to kiss a girl.
Yeah, so the girls and boys start dancing together, starting having a good time, and just as that happens, Tony comes in and cancels it. It's like, it's over. Thank you, girls. Go to the buses.
Put the fruit trays away.
I also
Sex will be out soon.
like that scene because Pat's talking to Julie before they started dancing or whatever, and they're kind of talking for an actual conversation for the first time, and he's like, "Do you want a punch?" And she's like, "Sure." So then he gives her a punch, and then they start talking, and then she's like, "You want to dance?" And he goes, "No, not really. I gotta do something or whatever," and then kind of walks away, and then she was just upset about it, but it comes back later.
It's
Even Lars is dancing.
Yeah, the Lars is the
He was
DJ,
dancing the whole time.
Yeah.
and he's Pat and them are making fun. It's like, have you seen what Lars is wearing? But he's going crazy once again, taking any seriousness away from him.
Up in.
It's awesome. I love Lars. Lars and Tim, and this is their scene together. They're the only
That's
two
true.
dancing.
Yep.
No, Pat is just like so painfully true because that is me. No game, no self-esteem. Just that's it. That was what it was like for me for most of my life.
Well, he's married and 3 kids, so he figured something out.
Yeah, I've said most of my life.
All right.
All right. After that, we got to Jerry. He's sitting on one of the go-karts that doesn't have an engine. And, this is the thing that he really wanted to do when he got here. And Pat and him talk. It's kind of like an important talk in the movie.
Yeah.
And then Pat starts pushing him around in the go-kart. And Julie's watching and smiling, falling in love.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think they stop or whatever. And because they crash or whatever. And Jerry's like, again, or whatever. And as soon as I catch my breath, maybe next summer. See, I really like their relationship.
Yeah,
between
their
Pat
connection's great.
and Jerry. That's what makes it. Pat is such a good character, and it was acted perfectly well. Like, you believe he actually cares about the kids. He wants to have a good summer and worry about their health and stuff.
Yeah.
Then after that, we go in the sleeping bunks, and Josh comes in.
Yeah.
It's like in the middle of the night, and he's like,
Josh was bad.
"Nah, Josh is good."
When I was watching this, I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah.
I was so lost. I was like, oh my God, did he actually get messed up or something? Or is he
His
messing
eyes are all
around?
pointed up like,
Yeah. Like Undertaker
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, all the kids are like, "What the hell's going on?" And he's like, "Must be good to see my butt again."
yeah.
Because everybody starts waking up. They're like, Josh is here. Because they haven't seen him in, I don't know, at least a couple days or something
Right.
like that.
He's
Couldn't
like
been that
petting
long.
something too. He's like petting like a pillow or
He
something.
grabs like a blanket or a pillow and
Yeah.
starts stroking it.
Yeah.
Don't say it like that.
I mean, that's
Start
what he's
stroking
doing.
the blanket. Jesus. This is a Disney movie.
It doesn't matter anymore. There's tons of stuff like that hit in Disney movies, especially back then. He basically said his dad's a lawyer. He got kicked out without a refund, threatened to sue. Bam, Josh is back.
So we went to the Sizzler.
Yeah. It's like we went to Sizzler. I closed the place. Yeah. And he's also shaving. And Jerry's just
he's
like,
shaving.
how long have you been shaving for? A few years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of important because it does come back later
Yep.
in the movie.
Yep.
Yeah, but he does have a giant baby face.
Yeah. I mean, they're like 11, 12,
Right.
even 13.
Right.
Like,
You don't need to shave.
yeah.
Goldberg.
Goldberg, the goalie. This is like totally opposite of that character, though.
I know.
So after that, they decide. Oh, they talk about how there's like not even one jelly bean or what's it?
Gummy bear.
Not one gummy bear left this entire camp because Josh is like, how are the supplies? So they decide they're gonna break into Tony's place, his like cabin, when he goes for a jog.
Yeah.
Which I also
Dogging it, Pat.
yeah, he's like passing, and he comes to a log and like, devil log.
You devil log.
Like lifts it up and runs with it. But also like, so they break in. And I think Nicholas gets into like the sugar or something.
Yeah, he's eating something.
They find a crate that has like all their letters and stuff in it, so he hasn't like.
Didn't send you to go-kart camp.
Yeah, that was a phone call that we actually didn't talk about,
You
but
skipped it. Whatever.
it's not that important.
They find all the letters.
Yeah, Tony hasn't been mailing them or whatever, so he's like, "This guy's sick." And then like he's coming back. Sims is like the lookout.
Yeah.
So this is the one time we hear Sims actually talk. He's like, "He's coming, he's coming, he's coming."
He's like jumping up and down through the window. He goes, he's coming. He's coming. He's coming.
But he's tall enough to reach over anyway. So like,
I know.
And then at the end of the day, like he went on like a 3-minute jog. I don't believe that. He's crazy. He probably went on like an hour.
He was dogging it. But like the thing that shocked me was just like he passes by Pat, who's just raking leaves like in the middle of the woods.
forts. Yeah.
Just like, what the hell was that all about? I guess they just needed that scene, but like it makes no damn sense.
Right.
They could have had him do something else.
Right. He
I have
could've
never
been-
actually thought about that, but that's
Yeah, no,
hilarious.
when I was watching, I was just like, why is he just raking a mound of leaves in the woods?
I kind of just looked and I was like, okay, whatever.
Right. But like, yeah, they could have had him doing something else.
Yeah.
But I guess just like, here's a rake these leaves
Yeah.
in the middle of the forest.
He could have been like collecting like sticks or something.
Right. Yeah.
Raking leaves.
I never thought about that. My mind is just blown. Maybe
Obviously.
Tony just was like making him do busy work because Tony doesn't like him.
Right.
So then they get out right before Tony gets in and stuff like that. and they're like running away, and they're like talking, and then they hear a food wrapper. They're like, what is that? And they open the stall or whatever, and it's, I can't remember which one.
I don't
It's
remember
not
his
Nicholas,
name.
right?
No, it's the redhead one.
I don't know his name.
I can't remember his name. Either way, he's got like a burger. And they're like, where'd you get that? He's like, I found it. What do you mean you found it? And so then it's a secret. It's like a stash.
Putts.
It's like a
Tree trunk.
tree trunk. And that one counselor that sold them out is like buying food and putting it in there. And they have
Smart.
to pay him. Yeah, very smart. But the other thing that doesn't make sense, I was talking to Tyler about this. Pat is doing it too.
Right.
Pat's an adult. He has a car. He can leave whenever he wants.
Yes.
He doesn't need to be like getting food.
And like the other counselor puts, like 5-6 things in there. And a kid will come grab a couple things, and another kid will grab a couple things. Pat took the whole stash in one night.
Yeah, it was like three.
It was
fast
3
food
bags.
Big
I was
boy.
like, what? Come on now.
He is a big boy.
No, it was a big boy food.
Was it big
Yeah,
boy?
it was a big
Yeah.
boy.
Of all things.
Yeah, of all things, he chose big boy.
I mean,
Could that be a reference to them being big boys?
Oh,
Or
clever,
is it
clever.
like what's the other word I'm looking for?
coincidence?
No,
Onomatopoeia.
What?
I don't know. I can't think of the word. Like sponsoring them or something.
Oh yeah, sponsorship. Yeah, I'm sure it was sponsored.
Who knows? Back then, sponsorship wasn't as big of a deal.
But
Well,
I think
yeah.
it's just because they're big boys.
Well, yeah, because like in that one scene where they pass by all the fast food places, like I don't think Checkers, Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King, and Arby's would have been like, put us all in the movie.
Right. I mean, like copyright and trademark stuff was lenient more back then. They may have had to get permission to put those signs in, but Taco Bell were like, yeah, sure, whatever. Sure,
Right.
sure. Who cares?
Taco Bell, who cares?
It's a different world now.
Yeah,
Where it's like, you want to put Taco Bell in your movie? Okay, that's going to cost like $1 million.
right.
I'm just making that number up, but that's what it's going to
It's
be.
probably close.
Or Taco Bell will pay for the advertisement.
Right. I don't know how it works.
Yeah. And so after that, they've all been eating this food again, and it's weigh time.
Weigh in time.
Another good.
First, they have that big blowout party. Is that?
That's
or-
later.
No,
that's
that's
later.
after
That's
Tony
later.
gets
Okay.
taken down.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
So this is after they're all eating the food. It's time for weigh-in time. I can't. Who was first?
The redhead goes first.
Redhead goes first, and he's like, "You're
gained 2 pounds.
gained 2 pounds.
So
Oh, well,
that's
muscle
whatever.
weighs more than fat.
Yeah.
That's okay. We're just gonna decrease his calories and increases,
Metabolic output.
Yeah.
Nice memory on that because I didn't remember that. So then, was it Jerry next?
Jerry goes next.
Garner, Gerald.
Yeah, Jerry Garner. Step on the scale. Like, you've gained 7 pounds. Have you been cheating?
Turn off the camera.
Turn off the camera. And he goes on his rant to him. So I was like, what's wrong with it? Wait, no, that's not yet. That's after
Yeah.
Josh, I think. So he like yells at the kids, whatever. Turn back the camera.
Josh Birnbaum.
Josh,
step on up.
Step on off the scale. Step off the scale. And that's when he starts talking to himself. What's wrong, little Tony? And he just starts losing it. And he's like, anyone who doesn't meet their weight is going on a 20-mile hike.
At age 11, I weighed 319 pounds.
That's not when he said it.
Well, I know, but we missed that part.
We did. You're welcome.
Bad skin, low self-esteem.
300 pounds at what age?
I think he said 11.
Something like that. Yeah. That's crazy. He's just like, you have failed and you will pay. Everyone, you're going on a 20-mile hike. So now we're on hike time. It's hike day.
First, he's like, "We're going on a 20-mile hike, so pack light." But then he has them pack with like this big ass, big ass backpack with a bunch of other stuff. I'm like, oh my god, told him to pack light.
Yeah. So they're going on a hike. I remember, I think Roy, they're walking through the woods, and Roy's you just hear him go like, somebody's going to die today, Josh, something like that. And I think Cody's the first one to fall.
Yeah.
And he's just like leaning against a tree and
Tony's like, leave him. And then they're like going for a little bit, and then there's like this little like trail with wood, but it's like separated, and they're so tired and out of breath that they don't really realize it. And I think Roy like pulls him. He's like, "Oh, thank you," because he would have just fell right through it or whatever.
And also, before they went on the hike, they kind of talked to Pat about how they're going to make a plan to like get rid of Tony, like the adults. So they show the adults all trying to figure it out, and they're going nowhere. Like they won't be out here for 3 weeks to check on him. Blah 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 blah.
And then they conspire against pushing Tony off the cliff.
Oh yeah, he's on a cliff and he loses it.
Yeah.
He like jumps and off the cliff and grabs a branch. He's like, "Ah!"
Starts hanging on it and everything's screaming.
He's like, Sam, come out here with me.
Oh yeah, I'll be right there.
Yeah, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Sam's just one of those like small side characters. There's just every time he's on, I laugh.
Yeah.
So then the boys, he's like, okay, we're gonna take a
missed it.
1 hour meditation break,
It's a good idea.
and then we're gonna climb that mountain over there.
Yeah. We're gonna climb 1,000. What did he say? Like we're gonna climb 1,000-foot rock mountain, like face of the rock mountain with our bare hands.
I was thinking he said like they're gonna extend the hike indefinitely.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense whatsoever. So the boys like set a trap at that one hole where Jerry saved Roy from falling through. So they challenged Tony to like do sit-ups, but say, "I hear you can't do sit-ups if you can't see or hear." He's like, "No, I can do that. I'll prove to you guys." He like has fallen for it. Like he thinks they're all like want to be skinny and stuff. So they cover his face and he like does a sit-up and it's like right into Josh's butt basically.
Yeah.
And then like he like chops Josh's
Yeah.
legs. It's like and then starts chasing him and then falls in the hole. They have captured him.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jerry tells all the adults like, "Come follow me," like because they're back at camp now. He looks like really tired, and they're like, "We've taken care of it." And they have Tony in kind of like a cage that they've made in like a barn or something.
Tied up and everything with duct tape over him.
Is he tied up at this point?
I think so.
Yeah, he's like bound.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He is.
Because then he tries to get out of the chair and then falls back.
Pat's like, "What are you doing?" He goes in there and like takes off the duct tape, and immediately Tony's like, "You're so late," like attacking him, and then he like covers him back up. Like, "Do we need more rope?" So they're like, "I was gonna help you, but now you're going down."
Yeah.
And at the same time, they've like gathered up all the counselors that worked for Tony, including Lars, and they have now taped or tied him
to
trees or whatever. And he's just like, he keeps like threatening them, or as they're walking away, or they put honey on his chest.
They rip his shirt and put honey on his chest.
I'm sure there was all these bears love honey. It's like, wait, what are you doing? I didn't mean it. Please help me. It's like, I got candy. And then one comes back and like pulls like a hair off her, like, I hate you. Please help me.
They start walking up a little bit and then they just hear screaming.
Yeah, screaming.
And they're like, oh my God, maybe there was bears here. And then they run back and realize it was just a deer.
Deer licking his chest.
He's like crying. He's like, I'm a vegetarian. The kids are like taking all the signs down for like Tony Perkins and stuff.
Putting it back to Camp Hope.
Yeah,
they originally was.
And then they play slow music to Tony, just like Tony did to them. And then he's like, goes to touch the cage because he gets mad, and they have electrocuted the cage, so he gets like shocked. It's like, ow. And so that's now electrified, and they have a huge party. This is your party where they're like, they're all like,
I want candy.
Is that song playing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like they're all just getting junk food. They have like a huge sub that's like delivered and stuff, and all these pizzas. And Tim is going nuts. He's like just drinking like chocolate and stuff.
And like weird like Jello or something, right?
Was it Jello?
Or, like, I don't know.
I think it was like, I know what you're talking about.
It's
I think
like-
it was like cherries
Yeah, like
or something.
Cherry's Jubilee or something
Yeah.
like that. I don't know what it was. It's weird.
Basically just a bunch of calories of nonsense.
Yeah, sugar.
Yeah. So they're just having like a blast, and then the one counselor who used to be in the Chipmunk Buck goes to Lars, and it's nighttime now, and he's like, "If you're gonna get deported if you don't have a job, so are you with us?" He's like, I am with you. I love you. So anytime Lars is on, I smile. How can you not like that? And that's the next morning. They're all like passed out in the field, and Pat has got like a microphone. And he's like, "Good morning, children. Get up!" It's like screams.
Next is Parents' Day, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's like actually that day, but it's like gonna be Parents' Day. Like they have to fix the camp basically.
Yeah,
So it's
clean
like
up,
screwed it
really.
up.
Don't put marshmallows on your pizza.
Yeah, don't put marshmallows in your pizza. Tim's got like marshmallows like stuck on him. He's got no shirt on. He's like,
everybody has everything all over them.
I'm disappointed in all of you.
So now you know to not eat all this stuff, right? And then that's when they talk about the marshmallows on pizza.
Yeah, and Pat just gives a nice little speech about, it's time to take control of yourself, like get healthy and start working together. Then we get a montage. They're speed walking. they're cooking healthy with Nurse Julie like telling them like, oh, this is vegetable.
Is this tomato a fruit or a vegetable?
Yeah, so like they're actually learning about stuff and they actually care about doing it. And then we get to Parents Weekend, and I love when Jerry goes to his parents, whatever, and he's like, you look the same. He's like, he hasn't lost a pound as he's walking away. He's like, I feel good though. The mom like doesn't care. She's just happy to see her son. And then Pat shows a video to all the parents.
Yeah, the hijacked video.
Yeah.
The Tony Perkins video.
The Tony Perkins video, which starts off normal, and then it goes like Nurse
Camp
Julie
Hell.
saying, yeah, Camp Hell, or the popping the blob, and they're like pretending to eat a rat.
Yeah.
And
like,
he's like, and then it has like Tony yelling at the kids, and
Yeah.
some of the parents are like, oh my god, he seems very strict.
Yeah, it's like one of them like messes up. He's like, "Stop messing up!" Like,
Yeah.
It's Josh.
it's Josh. He's like, "Wait till I say it."
How's everything going at the camp?
It's good. It's great. Wait till I finish this question.
If anybody has seen Dodgeball, that's literally his character in this.
I know. I feel like Dodgeball really is this character.
Yeah.
Like
10 years
the
down
moment
line.
I saw a couple scenes with him, I'm like, oh my god, he just reminds me of him in Dodgeball.
What's his name in Dodgeball?
I don't even remember. I'll look it up for you.
Tony Perkins.
No, it's something. It's like Ron. I don't know. It's something. It's gonna piss me off.
So at the same time this is happening, Nicholas, he's the guard of Tony,
White Goodman.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was way off.
Yeah.
and Tony tricks him into thinking he has a Hershey Kiss.
Even though
Crazy.
it makes no sense because he just pigged out the night before. Why would he go
Right?
crazy over one?
Why would you risk it for one Hershey Kiss, anyways?
This
You know,
part
if
kills
it's like a
me.
full size Snicker bar, go for it. But
Right, or Reese's Pieces.
so he got
Sorry,
the
Tyler.
Yeah.
It's okay.
He wouldn't have fallen for it if it was
Reese's
Reese's.
eggs, even better than normal. All right, so he gets out.
Okay, so he basically gets like a dinner and he has like a baked potato and he uses a foil around it to make the Hershey Kiss, which attracts the kid.
And then he uses the fork to disengage the electrical
Yep.
cage.
Sorry, I just had to explain that a little bit.
Yeah. So all the parents are finishing the video and they're like, why was this? No, how come no one told us this is how bad? Even though Jerry did tell his dad how bad it
Right.
was, he didn't listen. And like next thing you know, Tony's like clapping. He's like in the window, like up.
This
Yeah.
part
He's like,
kills me.
oh, I love the village.
Hair's
I
insane.
know. He's like all dirty and stuff like that. And he's just like going crazy. And then he like flips down.
Yep.
And he's like, ow.
He starts talking about a bunch of stuff, and then the kid that he had tricked in the barn, he starts running in. This is the part that just kills me. He's like, he escaped. Yeah, he's been talking for the last minute and a half.
Right. And then he starts smashing shit.
Yeah, he's like Jerry or one
I'm
of them.
too
Like, you
strong.
can't be in charge. Or,
You're too weak.
he's throwing glasses down and walk out of the broken glass. He's like, like he's like almost getting orgasmic, walking that glass, talking about how strong he is. And then Jerry's dad like punches him. It's like, so you gotta take a stand. And then he punches his
I'm
dad.
afraid you're wrong, mister.
And then he just does a whole bunch of flips and then like
And wipes out.
Yeah,
Wipes
and
out.
knocks himself out.
now there is a deleted scene stuff in this where he's got like a bow and arrow or something. I think I
oh
read.
yeah, I remember reading
I haven't
something
seen
about
it.
that.
I'm not sure if the video exists, but he had a bow and arrow and he was like actually aiming at them,
At the
like
kids?
at Jerry and his
Oh.
dad or whatever, and they deemed those two, threatening for Disney, so they cut that part out. I think there's a scene. I think I read that you can see a bow and arrow, like
Yeah,
after
you
he
can
does a
see it
flip and
somewhere.
hits the wall or hits the ground, or whatever. There's a bow and arrow there. That's why. So either way, he's
Worried about that. I was wondering.
he's
That bow
on.
and arrow looks out of place.
Wow, no, you find random stuff like
Well,
he's
there is
raking
another
leaves in
random
the
thing I
woods.
forgot to
Yeah,
mention.
what
too.
is it?
When Camp MVP drives by, when Jerry's writing that note and explains that they attack the camp and whatever. When the kids ride by in the boat, they go, "You suck," or "You stink, you stink, you stink." You can hear them because they originally said, "You suck, you suck, you suck," and on the last "You stink," you can hear it because it's so light. You can hear them say, "You suck,"
Oh, really?
because they didn't edit it out.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Why change it? I feel like suck would have been fine.
It was the 90s. It was a little more tame,
Okay,
Sorry, sir.
it's okay.
So Tony's like out of commission. He's got a blanket. He's getting like taken away, and now his dad is there, Papa.
Papa.
Yeah, he's like, sorry, we'll
Just
give.
Ben Stiller, an
Yeah,
old
it's
man.
Ben Stiller, also now dressed as an older person playing his dad, and he is
Tony Perkins Sr., the Lighting King.
the Lighting King, and he's just like, we'll get you your refunds, don't need to talk to your lawyers or whatever, blah, we'll just close camp, whatever. And then Jerry's like, Mr. Perkins, please, Papa. Papa, we don't want to go home. So he just leaves Pat in charge because he's been there for 18 years.
They're like, okay, well, if we do that, then who's been here the longest? And everybody's like,
2 years, 4 years.
yeah, Julie.
18 years. 18 years. What have you been doing with your life? Such a funny moment. All right, so he gets left in charge, and basically after that, it's just
The relay, I think.
what's it called? It was
The Apache? I don't know.
Apache.
Apache.
Yeah. Apache. It's basically the MVP camp versus Camp Hope, and Apache relay.
Yeah, that's what it is. Apache Relay.
Apache relay. So different kids will be doing different things for it. And Camp MVP has never lost. I think it's for like a big trophy or whatever.
Undefeated, yeah.
So the first thing, I think it's just like athletics. There's like
they hop into
They have the sack race.
sack race,
Yep.
and then it leads into like monkey bar stuff and like running through this and that.
So
So
Camp Hope's getting crushed.
yeah, they're getting totally crushed. And after that, I think it's the soccer kick, score a goal, whatever, other physical things. And then it gets to shave a balloon. So here's a callback to that. Because the MVP kid, he's like popping all these balloons all over him. And then they keep going further. But then Josh goes to it and he's like whistling as he just like clears the balloon perfectly because he's
Been
shaved.
shaving.
Right when I saw the MVP guy shaving the balloon, I was like, oh, now they're going to bring in Josh
Yeah.
and do this. I was like, it makes sense.
It's a nice little moment. It's funny
Yeah.
enough. And then, then they go to the Hall of Intelligence and you have like, I think it's the math question first.
The math question first, yeah.
So it's Lars dresses like an Einstein or some smart guy or whatever. It's like, oh, wait, no, it's Kenny the cameraman.
Yeah, it's
Solve the
cameraman.
equation. And he's like, 42. No. Something else. 9. 9 is the answer? No, 9 is German for no. And then I think it's name the paintings.
Yeah, and Nicholas is crushing it.
Yeah. Well, we haven't got to Nicholas yet, but like it's the camp MVP. He doesn't know any of them. And then Nicholas comes in and he looks at the math thing is like 11. Wunderbar. Go for it. And then he goes to the painting and he's like just going over and over. And then he passes all that. And the next thing is name 5
Vice presidents.
MVP
Quail?
kid. Yeah, he's like Quail. Yes. He named somebody else. No, I'm sorry. Quail. You already said that. And then Nicholas comes up. He's like, caught you. And he knocks it out of the
Rattles
park.
it off, yeah.
5 for
like-
5,
yeah.
instantly.
You Americans have no sense of history. He just runs off. So they take the lead. And then we go to the go-kart
And
race.
then
I think, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
And since,
so
Jerry
ultimate
that's
showdown.
all he wanted to do was go-karts. He's the one driving it. And
Put his wings on him.
they've made this like stupid looking go-kart out of like bits and pieces.
They took the motor out of the MVP's boat
Oh, yeah.
to put it on their go-kart or whatever.
Jesus.
So they're racing. It's like tight. The MVP guy like cuts him off and takes the lead. And you get to this little tiny jump. And Jerry's like going up it. He's behind. And he like flips the switch. And it's just this little tiny like
He gets the
plastic
nitrous.
fan.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't do anything whatsoever.
It's nitrous.
And like lands on.
Mid-air.
Yeah. And like beats him in the most unbelievable.
Well, it's kind of a callback because he was like flying or whatever, and when Pat and him have that moment
Yeah.
in the thing, he's like, "Oh, it's
You're
like
not going
I'm
fast.
flying."
You're flying.
Yeah,
Yeah, Pat says that.
I like that callback.
It is a callback, but it's just like that
And he's
little
got
fan.
the wings.
That little fan isn't even going
Captain.
fast.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then he wins and immediately. Camp MVP like counselor like, no, we're challenging this. Like, who really cares? And Pat's just like, Sims, take care of this trophy for me. Sims just like throws it in the water,
And then all of them just jump in the water to get the trophy.
and the counselor's like, you're crazy. And Pat's like, crazy about my gal, and like
Yeah.
grabs Nurse Julie.
Yeah, he just smooches her after like no context of like just being
Right.
intimidated
I
by
feel
her
like-
the whole movie.
Yeah, I feel like they could have done a little bit more between those two.
Well,
Right.
they
But-
kept teasing. They showed the little. So
Yeah.
I understand it. And this is the time in the 90s when just that's the first kiss is like when the relationship started, kind of back then. It's not like that today. You would get in major trouble doing that today. So that's basically the end of the movie. He had the best summer of his life.
Was it the end of the movie?
Yes, it's because we'll have the one extra scene in a second. So he's just like, thanks, Pat, for the best summer of my life. Then we get credits, and I didn't know until, I don't know, maybe like a year ago, that there was a post-credit scene to this movie.
Oh, you didn't know till a year ago?
Yeah, maybe until like a year. Because back then, you didn't watch after the credits.
I wasn't going to. And then I just happened to go, and I was like, oh, there is something. I got to watch it.
Yeah, so someone answers the door because someone's knocking, and it's Tony Perkins, and he's got like this box, this suitcase of like stones,
crystals,
and jewelry
and stuff.
Like, I bet you don't slam the door on me, 'cause, for every stone person, but this is important. I can't remember what the words he used. It was really funny.
He's basically just trying to sell him or whatever, and then in the middle of his sentence, the person just slams the door in his face.
Yeah.
Now the movie's over.
Sorry. All right, so overall positives for this movie is it's just a fun movie. It's not serious, but there's like heart in this movie, which is why it's okay for what it is. People need to relax. This movie was made 27 years ago, almost 30 years ago. So it is what it is, It's about overweight people. Sorry, it's just is what it is. I grew up on this movie. It's very quotable, very fun. It's not long, doesn't take itself too serious. Pat, the character Pat, and the actor who played him were just great. There's a lot of heart in this movie, actually. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, Pat's character was awesome. You could definitely feel, some of his scenes.
Yeah, I really don't even have too many negatives, really. I got nothing that stands out. It's a...
my negative is Pat not raking, or shouldn't rake leaves in the middle of the...
Yeah, I'll second that.
Woods.
In the middle of the forest.
I think that's only a negative because Sikora said it.
I don't really have any other negatives.
Yeah, it's not a movie that you really draw negatives to because you don't take it serious.
Yeah, it's
a
fun movie. It's a fun movie.
It's an epitome of a 90s movie.
Yeah, but I'll put this on like a higher end of these kind of movies in the 90s. Yeah. It's actually very watchable and hasn't, besides being in the context that you can't talk about it anymore of overweight, because our society has just become too, besides that. What?
He sneezed. I said, bless you. I said, or laws would say Gesundheit.
Yeah, it's just, I think it's aged very well, even if some people find it inappropriate. But whatever. All right, yeah, so only a really couple little things. It was filmed over 2 months, so not a long filming schedule for this. 3 of the kids that appeared in this movie were also in the Mighty Ducks. You got Kenan Thompson, you got the kid who played Jerry, and Goldberg the goalie.
The goalie.
And so Sean Weiss, the guy who played Goldberg the goalie, he originally did not want to do this movie. He didn't want to act in this. But they told him that he wouldn't be allowed to be in Mighty Ducks 3 if he didn't do this movie.
Really?
Dang.
Yeah. So that's pretty crappy to do to like a kid actor. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad they did because
it was nice.
He was
that he was in it.
Perfect. Yeah. I cannot picture anyone else in that role than him. So I'm sad what he's going through now. I hope he's healthier than he was because I saw him like 2 years ago. I know he was
a little rough.
Yeah, a little rough. Looked very scary. I also know on a sad note that Salami Sam passed away in 2018. Jerry, the kid who plays Jerry, he looks great now. Mm-hmm. He's like in good shape. He looks very healthy, and I think he's starting to be in more stuff, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
And we also got 4 future directors came from this movie. You had Judd Apatow. You had
Paul Feig.
Yeah, Paul Feig. You had
and then
Ben Stiller. He directed after this. I can't remember who the 4th one was. There was one more. You happy? And that's basically the trivia I got. How about you, Tyler?
I have 2 things. One of them was while filming the scene where the kids have a party after locking up Tony Perkins and restoring the camp back to the way it was. The guy that plays Jerry injured his arm, and he's wearing a cast, and it had to be hidden in some of the scenes.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
And my last one is that South Park made an episode about it called Fat Camp in season 4, episode 15. So if all those South Park guys out there, I know you guys like it.
I know, I love it, and I honestly can't remember that episode, so now I gotta go back and watch it.
It's good. It's where
Once I press play, I'll probably be like, oh yeah. But off the top of my head, it's been years since I watched the old South Park.
Cartman hires a kid to pretend him as skinny.
Oh, okay, yep, got it.
Clicked.
Right, see, just like that, click. All right, so
That's all I
time
got.
to get to the rating system. 5, truly classic. 4 is pretty darn good. 3 is middle of the road. 2 is should be better. 1 is not good, and 0 is nothing redeemable.
And still, you don't have that memorized.
I do. I wrote this down without looking at anything.
There you
Thank
go.
you very much.
But now you read it looking at
But
the
if
words.
I don't write it down on the piece of paper, I will forget because I feel pressure when talking. So, I will go first. I am giving this movie a very solid 4. I really like it, but like quality wise, it's a mid-90s movie. I'm not going to go any higher than that. Who's next?
Sikora?
I love this movie as a kid. I love this movie as an adult.
That's right.
So I'll give it a 1 plus 3.
I was about to
I wish we had video to see Mike's face on that.
Well, it's funny
about
because
to be
me and Mike were literally talking about this too because he's like, I know Sikora likes this, but is he going to give it a low score?
I know,
So
I was
he
like-
started saying 1.
he
I was
likes
like,
this movie,
what?
so he's going to be like, I'll give it a 1.5.
That's
I
was
love,
good.
I love this movie as a kid. Like I probably watched it at least 50 times.
Yeah. I watched this so many more times than like I'm realizing now like wow, this is up there on some of the most I've watched.
Like I've probably watched it. I've watched it recently, like not recently, but within the past 5 years, I'd say I've seen it, and I've probably seen it a couple times in the previous 5 years from that. So,
I've probably watched this 2 or 3 times since I've had Disney Plus.
but it's just
Oh,
burned.
really?
It's just burned in my memory as a child. 'Cause
Oh,
I
yeah.
was a fat kid as a child, so this movie resonated with me.
I was a thick child. Now I'm fat.
I was a fat child.
All right, Tyler, what's your rating?
3.5.
Oh, 3.5. This movie came so close to making the Wall of Fame.
Sorry.
Tyler.
Bueno, what do you think?
This movie's too happy and fun. I give it a 0.5.
I couldn't afford big boys and get in a tree trunk when I was a kid.
My parents couldn't afford to send me to
I
camp.
couldn't have candy.
We love you, Winnow. But seriously, if you were here, you would be like 1.5.
No, he would like this movie, I think, for the Mighty Duck references. Or the
Yeah.
Mighty Duck.
Yeah, he'd be like,
Overlap.
that's the only thing I like about this movie. There's no serious enough.
Yeah. Doesn't change your life. It's supposed to change your life.
But then he always hits you with those questions too.
Oh,
If you were in their
absurd
position. Yeah.
hypotheticals. So, if it was 1995 and you were this, just like this doesn't even relate.
All right, so this movie averaged out to a 3.8. 0.2 away from making the Wall of Fame. But it's
0.2.
okay. It's awesome, but it's okay. It's not up there.
We can have a little picture of it.
Yeah, the Wall of when we actually start doing the video, we'll have our little actual Wall of Fame with stuff. Maybe this one will put something on the desk in front of us.
Yeah.
That's right. Or maybe just the movie poster. All right, time to close this one up, boys. As always, I'm Mike.
Sikora.
And Tyler.
Bye.
Hip hip hooray. Hip hip
planning that one?
I
hooray.
just thought of it.
There you go. Perfect.